Hello and welcome back to another episode of Media Munchers. I'm Nathan,
And I'm Adrian.
and we've got some news today, Big Apple. We've got a lot going on. We got some Brendan Fraser news. He's back.
Yeah.
We got some drama from Don't Worry, Darling, the premiere. We got a trailer, All Quiet on the Western Front. They're doing a remake of that. We'll get into that. We got some Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty's back. Rick and Morty forever. And then finally, we have The Gray Man review, the movie on Netflix. Shall we get into it with a news, Big Apple?
Yeah.
All right.
So
Give me the context, big man.
Yeah. So Brendan Fraser is starring in a new movie that premiered at the Venice Film Festival, The Whale.
Gotcha.
It's directed by Darren Aronofsky, and apparently he got a 6-minute standing ovation for it.
Right. The premise, let me read this real quick.
Yeah.
It says a reclusive English teacher living with severe obesity attempts to reconnect with his estranged teenage daughter for one last chance at redemption. So probably just through and through a big drama. Big gritty drama. But yeah, dude, that fat suit's crazy. He was talking about wearing it. I was reading about it, and he's like, when he was done with it, he said he developed muscles he didn't even know he had, like from carrying all that weight. And he was just that's a lot. And so I was like, dang, that's crazy. But the bigger news is that he's back. Like, did you know why he was blacklisted? Apparently,
something to do with sexual assault.
Yeah, apparently some higher up like sexually assaulted him. As some higher Hollywood, like I think it was president of some sort of association. I don't know which one, but I think he spoke out about it, and then like no one would touch him for like many years, which is fucked up.
Yeah,
I guess he spoke out about it before Me Too or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So, like if for 15 years, I mean, for sure, Me Too was like a couple years ago. So I didn't know it had anything to do with that. I had no clue why he went away for some reason, because he was doing well. Even Dwayne The Rock was like tweeting about it, like about the standing ovation. He was like, congrats to him. He helped me with one of my big breaks with The Mummy and all that. So when he was getting started, so it was good vibes. It was very good vibes. So I'm really happy for him, and we should definitely see it. I don't know where we can watch it, but I'd be interested in just watching it for personal pleasure. Yeah, it seems like one of those early screening things for critics. But I'm interested. It's got really high reviews according to users and stuff. So good for him. He's back. Now for some negative news. Let's hit it. Let's hear the drama.
Yeah. So that new movie, Don't Worry, Darling.
Yes.
Starring Chris Pine, Harry Styles, and Florence Pugh. It premiered the other night, and you tell me. Click on the link.
Oh God, there's a link. Let me see.
Yeah, there's a video.
Oh, I got it.
You tell me. What do you think? Does Harry Styles spit on Chris Pine?
I got it. Let's find out. Let's see. And I'll play this for the audience. Whoa.
It looks like it, right?
It's a very, very low resolution video.
Yeah, it is.
But it does look like he purses his lips. Is that the word? Like we're like breaking this down like a fucking like sports analysis. Yeah, it looks like you know what I think it was. Whether he did or didn't, maybe he made it like that, like to test or something. Like, you know what I mean? You meant like fake spitting.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He looked down.
Well, another thing to add is apparently Chris Pine's representatives had made a statement that he didn't spit on him. So,
well, like there's his glasses, right?
Wild speculation.
So maybe he was looking at his glasses. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I don't feel like he really spit on him. And why would he have a reason to?
Unless, well, apparently there's some
bad blood.
Yeah, behind doors drama going on the set.
Ooh, scandalous.
Olivia Wilde and Florence Pugh. She doesn't want to get into it or anything.
Dang, so much tea.
Yeah, wow. I don't know a whole lot.
No, but like the fact that there's stuff brewing, like you think people of that caliber would just play nice, but I guess people are just people, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's so interesting. I don't know. If there was a higher resolution video, we got the sports ESPN cameras on it. We can get some playback. Yeah. It's so stupid, but it's kind of fun to like look at and be like, ooh, what are they doing? I don't know. It's really hard to say. It's like 50-50. Maybe he did and they're just playing it down. Who knows? Yeah. Goofy ass, big A, goofy. You want to get into that All Quiet trailer real quick?
Yeah.
Let me whip that out for you. Before I start this, have you seen the first one? All Quiet on the Western Front. It's a really old.
When did it come out?
Like the 20s, or no, that's a lie. Like the 40s or 50s, it came out.
What is it about?
It's a World War I movie.
Oh, I know.
Dude, it's like a classic. They made us watch it in film class.
Okay.
But anyway, you'll probably like this version. Let's check it out. So the reason why this piqued my interest, and I guess a lot of people's interest who have seen the original, is that like what it did. I don't have a full review ready, but I remember writing a paper on it, and what it did for the time was pretty spectacular. Like it brought a really human, like a human view. Like a lot of war movies, it's just the fighting. And it's just like, we're gonna go fight, and it's just a bunch of trench fights and stuff. This
Yeah.
actually focused on a group of soldiers and like how they felt about it. And actually, it was really a protest movie in some ways. Like they were
Okay.
talking about the futility of war and how it's stupid that a bunch of leaders can go and tell like thousands of men, okay, now it's time for you to go kill other men for the sake of your country or something like that. They were just, it
Mm.
was like those were some points they made, and it was like showing them like screwing around and like trying to flirt with like the local women in whatever country they were occupying or whatever. And so it was just, there was a lot of just a humanizing. There was a lot of humanizing of like the soldiers. It wasn't just the soldiers. There were people. There were boys sent out to do like these crazy atrocities of war. And anyway,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's what the first one did really well, and it was really good. The action was good too, and like for the time, you know what I mean.
Uh-huh.
And it was just a really well made movie. And I guess it's also based on the book, and this is supposed to just do it again, but in 2022 or whatever,
Yeah,
4K
yeah.
Netflix
So
budget.
it's a remake,
Well,
or is
it's
it?
probably more of a reimagining. I don't know how much they're gonna keep of the first movie. It seems like they're going a different route, but I could be wrong. But I think definitely they're taking most of the inspiration from the book, and if they keep it pretty true to that, as the first one probably was, I didn't apples to apples compare them. I didn't read the book.
Oh, okay.
I imagine it'll be a pretty similar ish movie, but
Cool.
like not exactly. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know. It should be good. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
excited
it
for it.
reminded me of that one 1914,
1917.
1917.
It had those similar vibes, right?
Yeah,
But I mean, it's the same war. But
right. But yeah,
the 1917 was just something else, man.
yeah, dude,
That was crazy.
that was
That
good.
was really good. So hopefully this delivers in a different way. Like hopefully we focus on the more human parts of it, all right? Like the first
Yeah,
movie
yeah,
did. But it caught my interest. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll get into Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty,
yeah,
Big Apple Teeny.
yeah.
We're back with our Rick and Morty review, and what do we last remember? I didn't watch the previous finale, but I know that shit went south.
Yeah, it was Evil Morty. He had uh left
The whatever central finite curve thing.
the central finite curve. He destroyed it and left the what is it? The web
That Rick made for
Rick
himself.
made of all the dimensions of where he's the smartest version of himself, or the
Right.
smartest person.
The infinite fucking cradle for
Yeah, yeah.
infinite fucking baby or something,
Yeah, yeah.
as Marty said. I remember that now. Yeah. So it was great. We reached some like the peak of they jumped the shark, as they joked or whatever, the peak of the serialization.
Mhm.
And so he's gone, right? Presumably he's in like whatever, the rest of the multiverse. And they haven't touched on that at all. I mean, we pick up in this season opening with all the fallout, all the Ricks and Mortys blown to bits, the Citadel like destroyed,
Mhm.
and they pick up in a very like Endgame-esque thing with
Yeah.
Rick narrating to Morty and all that. They did the whole Iron Man joke. That was a fun call out. And then of course like the Captain Marvel thing with Space Beth coming to save them. What was interesting was that they picked up and then shit hit the fan again. Like he tried to fix things like with the portal fluid, like all the portal fluid stopped working because it ran off of like I don't know, sacrificed Mortys or some crap, some crazy scheme.
Yeah.
What was it? It was like they juiced like Rick and Mortys that didn't make the cut, and that's what the
Something
portal
like that,
some
yeah.
some
No,
absurd
just
thing.
the Mortys.
It was just the Mortys.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
Exactly.
Well, no, the machine that Evil Morty used everyone.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
All the Ricks and all
the Ricks and Mortys. There's so many of them. But but what was cool is that they flipped everything on. He messed up, and basically everyone who had been used like touched by portal fluid or something had to go back to their original universe.
Yeah, because they were all from different.
Yeah, they were like
dimensions.
hodgepodge. So what I thought was cool is that we finally got to see how OG Morty's dad's doing. I'm losing it. I know, it's so forgettable.
Season 1 Jerry.
Season 1 Jerry.
Yeah.
And how he's like a freaking rugged caveman now, nature man now. And he's like made peace with his bullshit. How did you feel about that? I was just like, what is going on here?
Yeah, it was funny how he finally kind of like he's overcome that, like what we know to be Jerry.
Right. Like he's pushed past that. He's all this crazy character.
He's
growth,
no longer a pushover. Like
all that. He's like a rugged nature man.
Just like crawling through chaos.
Exactly, and just kind of like screaming his way through things.
Yeah.
Exactly. I thought that was cool, and I like how he shoved all of Morty's shit in his face. Like he was just really like about it. He's like, "You left us," this and all that. All the
Yeah,
fun
yeah.
serialization stuff, I'm loving. Um, what did you think about Rick going back to his like haunted, weird Groundhog's Day timeline thing, like his original
Oh
universe?
yeah, I liked how he had the voice of his wife in the background,
Yes.
and how that added to the emotional uh pull that we got out of it.
Right, right. Because he's like now the Rick that cares is basically what we learned by
Right.
the end of the episode.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Um,
you see that with him earlier trying to care for Morty by taking the sandwich and putting it in that machine. And then it
yes.
just being
It
like
was
with
like
this
poop.
glob. Yeah, it looked
It was
like
like
shit.
basically poop. And he was like, I'm just gonna risk it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I love how they can weave jokes in there like that while still trying to show all that character stuff.
Yeah.
It's such a dense show. I love it. Um, it feels like we get a new antagonist this season, like the OG Rick. Wasn't that like
Right.
Morty's
Yeah,
original Rick?
Morty's original
Original
Rick.
Rick, yeah. And he's now like evil Rick, if you would, right? And he
Mhm.
was the one who pushed our current like canon Rick and Morty Rick, so many Ricks, I guess to go on that path of being a badass time trap or multidimensional crossing Rick, like
Right.
the Rick we know, right? The Rick Sanchez we know. Um, it seems like he wants to chase him down. He almost does halfway through the episode after he assembles Morty back together and tries to get everyone back together. Do you
Mhm.
think they're gonna continue with that and like that's gonna be this season's big bag and they're gonna put off Evil Morty for later or
Well, I don't know because they never really like to do this serialized stuff. Like they've always trying to
avoid it?
make it more like sketch, like episode to episode, just keeping more like SpongeBob or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Um, but like that definitely like makes another storyline that they're
Gonna like come back to when they feel like
yeah
it.
yeah
I think that's what's gonna happen too. I don't think they're gonna spend every episode on
right.
that, but I think they'll allude to it and kind of work their way to it as well, which is interesting because it begs the question. It's like, is he a later villain? Like, are they gonna have to deal with him before they deal with Evil Morty? How much of a threat is he actually that he just wanted to escape? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't know. Is he gonna break everything down? Who knows where they can go with this? Did you also hear that I think it was a Dan Harmon quote that now he's like now that they have a showrunner that's like got things down to like tight, they're gonna be dropping them like once a year now instead of once
Oh
every
yeah
couple of
yeah,
years.
I heard
And on top of that, he thinks they could go on like indefinitely, like 100 seasons, like literally.
that.
What do you think about
Yeah,
that?
like The Simpsons.
Well, yeah, I
What
guess
are they on?
30 something. I feel like where they came out in the 80s. They're
Yeah,
probably on 40. They're probably well past 40. They've been going every year, right?
I think so.
I feel like it.
Mostly.
But there's got to be like next to no breaks. It has to be. Um,
No, but yeah, I mean, if they have the like the creative storytelling to
mhm.
keep going, yeah,
Okay.
as long as they're good.
I mean, they haven't really gone down too much in quality. I'd say. I'd argue.
They had some questionable
They
episodes last
definitely had some
season.
questionable episodes. But I mean, you gotta fuck it,
But
right? You gotta full send it sometimes, right?
I mean, it was interesting concepts. They just weren't.
They just didn't stick the landing that well.
Yeah,
They're always pretty self-aware of it though. They're like,
yeah,
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 that
for
didn't
sure.
work. That didn't work. And deep cuts and stuff. Like the AIDS booger file name thing came back because we were just watching Morty's Mind Blowers, and like that was another callback.
Yeah.
There's so many freaking callbacks. I cannot keep track of them all. You got to
Mhm.
go to like one of those YouTube channels that like dissect every little frame. I'm not doing all that. I just like the fun stuff. What else stuck out to you about this episode? I'm just happy to have it back. Shit.
Yeah.
How did you feel about Space Beth sticking around more?
I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
It was nice seeing the contrast and
Hmm.
how that affected what's her name?
Like stay at home Beth.
No, the sister
Summer.
Summer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, how she like kind of idealized the mom that left.
Right. Like that, I guess, independence or whatever. And like the whole adventure. She's like, oh, domestic mom, this and that.
Yeah.
And like how domestic mom is trying to like stick in, like trying to keep up with them basically when they all have to do like the team of three when they're fighting whatever to protect the portal to whatever to get Rick back.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
nice seeing all that interaction and them kind of like fighting with themselves because it gave me that vibe from Paul Rudd's show, like Living with Yourself or whatever.
Mm.
It's like the evil you, evil if you would, and like the good you, the you who stayed and the you who left. It's like like the whole fighting, the whole she's literally arguing with herself about it. It's so weird,
Yeah.
but they're two different people now at this point because they're two different choices. I don't know. It was awesome. I love all the sci-fi shit, dude. Um, did you? I like another small thing I liked is how those people who were stuck in the loop who kept aging but never died.
Oh, right.
And he was like, "Oh fuck! Like I used to drink," and they're like, "Please!" Like they're basically subliminally saying, "Like please let me die and shit." And like he actually finally did it. I was like, "Dude, how many skeletons does Rick have? Like infinite fucking skeletons, my guy."
Yeah, that's crazy.
Um, I like the small throwaway thing where like I don't know what that little meep thing or that schlep thing, whatever that
Oh,
little
Mr. Frundles.
is that what it was called?
Yeah, the triangle looking thing at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know what his catchphrase was, but he like spread like a cancer and just like ate the whole world.
Yeah, it was
And
insane.
the reaction of them looking back at it, just like, what the? That was great, golden,
Yeah.
dude. So now they've kind of all assembled, and I thought it was actually really interesting that by the end when they all like are burying the bodies and stuff, and like they just drop that, and they're like, yeah, where's the real Rick and Morty? Like they're dead. They're in the backyard buried. And she's like, oh, that's what the raccoons are getting into. By the time they've resettled on whatever new Earth they've resettled on without the portal fluid, which I hope they keep, because that makes things a lot harder. Like a lot harder. It's like a big like overpowered ability. Like you can't teleport anywhere you want anywhere as Rick, right? Like he's got
Right,
to
yeah.
actually like do things the old school way or like find ways around it. So hopefully that makes him have to be more creative like throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah,
Do you think he's gonna get it back soon? That ability?
I don't know. Maybe it will be like the quest for the next episode.
Right, like him fixing it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they could just write a joke and it could be fixed in 2 seconds. But it'd be cool if
Mhm.
they had to work a little harder and make it a quest, like you said. Make
Yeah,
it a whole
yeah. It
episode.
would be interesting to see more linear storytelling
I
that way.
feel like they're sort of going for that. Like they're gonna have linear-ish storytelling with like a whole bunch of BS and shenanigans on the way.
Mhm.
Because it really feels like what's gone from Rick and Morty is it's like the whole family now. Like everyone's gonna go on adventures, even Jerry. Because even Jerry had his little moment
Right,
when he
yeah.
told off what was it like season 2 Jerry, who was getting shit on at the table.
Right.
He was like, yeah, I'm a fucking traveler now. I'm cool, Jerry, or something.
Yeah, he went back to the family that was like in the season 2
Yeah,
like era
yeah, exactly.
of acting.
And he like told them off or something, and he made his exit. So I was like, good for
Yeah.
you, Jerry. I guess you're trying to grow in your own weird way. And then he was like, I'm happy we got divorced. And I was like, oof. Anyway, moving on. But what I wanted to bring up at the end was when everyone was buried, and like Morty was like, geez, what are we gonna do, Rick? Whatever. And he's like, is he really that dangerous? And like Rick begrudgingly has to admit that like he's the rickest Rick there is, or some shit, like the evil Rick, if you would. And
Right, yeah. He doesn't care at all.
he's like he truly doesn't care. He is
Yeah.
pure anarchy. He's like pure distilled Rick, and he was like, he's the real deal, or some shit like that. And I was like, whoa, this guy having some fucking humility. That's crazy. We're turning a new chapter. So I really enjoyed the episode. I thought it was a really strong start to the season, and
Yeah,
I'm ready to get these once a year, man.
I think so.
I'm ready for it. I love it. 100 years, Rick and Morty, big guy.
100 years.
100 years, man. Never stopping. All right, we'll take a small break and then we'll do some Gray Man.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Unless there's anything else you wanted to say about.
No,
Rick and Morty. Okay, cool. I knew I'd stumble around that episode. We got it. Oh boy. So, if you have tangents, because I just have it's my notes are kind of like linear,
uh-huh.
but they're just kind of like all over the place. We're just jumping around the film a little bit.
Yeah, me
Do
too.
you have any tangents? Just jump in,
Okay.
or just you got this.
Yeah.
All right, and we're back with our review of The Gray Man on Netflix. It's directed by Anthony and Joe Russo, the Russo brothers. Written by Joe Russo and also Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. If they sound familiar, that's because they worked on a lot of big properties such as Infinity War, Endgame, et cetera, et cetera. And we'll talk about that later, how it feels like MCU-esque. We'll get into that. But
yeah.
let me set you guys up with the premise after I tell you the stars. It stars Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans, and Ana de Armas. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Good. And as well as Billy Bob Thornton. Love that guy. The plot is as follows. Six, a highly skilled assassin in the deep cover of the Sierra program of the CIA, is the agency's best merchant of death. However, when a mission goes bad, Six is now on the run from the CIA with a sociopathic former agent Lloyd Hansen hot in his tail. Aided by Danny Miranda and handler Donald Fitzroy, Six must be his most ruthless to avoid Hansen, who will stop at nothing to bring Six down. I mean, that's pretty much it. I got some initial thoughts for you, Big Apple.
What's up?
Before I saw it, just saw the trailer like we saw back in the Disney. I thought this could be something big. Netflix lately has been taking some swings and they've been missing.
Mhm.
And seeing as like the creatives behind it, were behind the two biggest movies of all time, I figured, it can't be that bad. I mean, it's an action movie. And it wasn't like god awful, but I have some thoughts. So let's get into that, Big Apple.
Yeah.
The visuals definitely stand out the most. Like I think one of the opening scenes is it not just like the Bangkok scene after we learned about his handling, like how he joined Six or whatever. We have Billy,
right.
we have Six.
It jumps 16 years ahead, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's like here's Six getting recruited by Fitz, Billy Bob Thornton,
Right.
and
Right.
then bam, we're like on our the mission, like the one mission that where everything I guess goes wrong, if you would. And so basically, Six is hunting down Four. We learned it's Four. It's another Sierra agent, and that's when he spills the beans. But he's like, yeah, you know, he basically like spells out the whole plot. He's like, they're coming for me, they're coming for you. Here's a hard drive. The whole movie's gonna hinge on this.
Right.
He's
Right.
like, what? I can't take that. All right, I'll take that. And then he takes it. And he mails it to
The
Trey.
writing was like that throughout the whole movie.
It really was. It's like, get with the program. We're doing things. We're moving. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, all right. I think that was a pacing thing. Like, I think they were just trying to not let too much downtime happen. They're like, okay, things are happening and
Still
things are happening.
dragged though.
It kind of though.
Yeah.
I felt we'll get into it, but I felt like there was too many freaking characters. Even though like we focused on Six, there's like, here's some backstory and the CIA director, and then there's history, and then this other agent. I was like, dude, chill. Like, what's going on here? Like, it threw us right into the fun, and for better or for worse, we'll see.
Yeah.
Back in that opening scene, the Russos really aren't shy about de-aging, are they? But I think middle-aged Bob Thornton worked a bit. I was like, why does he look weird?
Honestly, I didn't notice.
You didn't notice at all? That's good.
No.
That's good.
But I wasn't. I don't know.
It wasn't that important. It was just a stray observation. I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Was it done well?
I watched it again today, and I was like,
what about
that's not
Ryan
bad.
Gosling? Did they DH him at all?
That's what I wanted to figure out. I think it was a makeup thing. I don't think they actually, if they did, it was very subtle.
Okay.
They might have airbrushed or like slimmed his face a little because
what in the 16 years all he gained was
muscle
hair?
and facial hair. Yeah, exactly. And then like his hair looks a little darker. I think it was a little more blonde in the flashback. It was like a little lighter and a little like boyish. It was more boyish, and like I don't know, the later ones like more rugged, I guess, like more like frazzled. I don't know how else to describe it, but it didn't seem like he was de-aged too much. If he was, it was just like a makeup and hair thing, I feel like, and clothes. I kind of appreciated Gosling's dry delivering of his few one-liners, like, but like,
yeah, he plays it well.
He does. Like he's like right on that pocket.
Of him in Drive, I think it was.
Yeah. I don't think I saw that, but I've seen him in other stuff, and he has a kind of similar gear, if you would. You know what I mean? Like I feel like he seems like he can barely be bothered to play some of his characters, but not like in a negative way. In like it's just like he's got this weird like I'm cool like suave to him, but like he's not actively trying, like a passive thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like they always seem tired. Like even in The Notebook. Have you seen The Notebook?
Yeah, I've seen The Notebook.
Just like I don't know. It's just the Ryan Gosling thing. It's just I've never seen him like I don't know, too jazzed for anything he does. His characters are never too jazzed. So that was interesting.
No, yeah, I get that.
Am I tripping?
No, I see that.
No, good. The set is nice. There's beautiful sets, beautiful scenery. Twisted Carmichael is not in charge. And what did I write? Oh, the setup. So Twisted Carmichael is like not in charge, and Fitz, I don't know what the fuck I wrote. Pause.
Who's Twisted Carmichael?
Carmichael is the guy with glasses who orders Six to kill that kid at the beginning. He's like the CIA leader, the new one who replaced Fitz.
The tall guy who's
tall
Karen.
Tall brown glasses. That's all you need to know. He's always yelling. He's like, "Get out of my personal space." Or no, well,
did he throw the
yes,
coffee?
Yeah, he threw the coffee.
Okay.
He threw the coffee, and it was silent. We didn't get to hear anything. He was just like,
yeah.
I was like, all right, interesting choice. No, so okay, that guy, he's the new guard, right? Like he replaced Fitz because he went to retirement, and we learn later in the movie because it wasn't clear at first that he's taking out all the Sierra agents because I guess he finds them like not to play well with his new order. I don't know. They seem like valuable agents. Why is he killing them? That doesn't make sense to me. And they never explain that. And then
he's like untrusting of them for some reason,
I guess. And he wants he wants to use the CIA, they say, as like his own personal goon squad, and like they want to do some shadow government stuff. But
he's like college friends with Chris
Evans and the girl who shits on like his little co-leader,
right,
his little co-agent, whatever. I forgot her name.
Yeah, the Karen.
That's the Karen. Okay, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna refer to it as that from. But yeah,
because they
really play that.
That was a joke.
Was it?
Chris Evans was like, he liked her better with the haircut that didn't make her look like a bitch. Gotcha. Exactly. All she did was just like whine and bitch the whole movie. There was nothing redeeming about her. That's all she was. She was just like an antagonistic force against the other guy. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. But dude, Chris Evans, Dios mío, is having so much fun with his character. I can see why he would opt to play this. That's one of the trivia I have later.
is that he was initially approached for the lead. He was gonna be 6, and he was like,
okay.
"Nah, fuck that. I want to be the villain." And good for him. This like it's so satisfying. Every scene he was in, I was like, "Yep, that works.
Yeah.
That works. I love it. I love him seeing. I love him seeing. I love seeing him play like a sociopathic asshole. He needed to break his good guy image after all those years as Cap. So, I love it. We're going for
Have you
it.
seen Knives Out?
I have not.
That's a good movie.
It's a good one.
Yeah, he's in it.
I'll check it out. Maybe we'll review it. Does he also play a character who's kind of like not so bueno?
You'll have to watch the movie.
All right, I'll watch the movie. I'll watch the movie. All right. What other? What you got? Some positive observations, Big A? I know you don't have too many. If not, I'm just going on the next one.
Positive.
We can go negative already. I was just doing it in the order I watched it. We could jump around. You fuck with the action?
Honestly, no. The only good action scene I think was like the last one with Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, that fight scene was cool.
That one was done well, but all the others just felt like what they would do with Captain America.
That's what I'm saying. 6 is basically a fucking superhero in this movie. I don't believe half the shit he did. Okay, the plane.
Well, it was just like too easy for him. Like all the ancillary cops and
dude, the way there's no way he didn't die in the shootout in Prague. Remember the shootout? Like where it was a ground war. We'll get to it. There's no way he didn't get shot by a stray bullet and just hide behind like a bench the whole time. Yeah. They don't have armor piercing.
Well, he got away with it because all those guys that were attacking.
Distracting. Okay.
No, they were like physically on, and so they were somewhat blocking the shots, but they didn't really like.
You can't walk around
the angle.
Yeah, exactly. You can't walk around. They were treating it like a stage play. I'm like, no, y'all can surround. Okay, all right, whatever.
Also, I didn't like the swooping camera. Like that was like
you don't like that FPV.
Everything.
We'll get to that.
It was just way too distracting, and it just didn't make sense for the action.
Yeah, they should have saved it for more specialized shots. I feel like they're like, just pull it out. Yeah, fuck it.
That's something that like you would see in Harry Potter with the brooms.
We would like the broom. You mentioned that. There's when they use that camera to establish do all these establishing shots. Like we're in this location, we're in that location, we're jumping into this. I'm like, bro, chill. There was a couple of shots where they worked towards the end. The one where Lloyd, Chris Evans, is jumping off that thing into the water to catch up to 6 and Claire, the girl, and it goes from that to there. That was slick. I like that one because okay, that works. You're joining one scene to another. So like I was saying, there's like 2 where I think it works. Another one is when sexy Tamil guy, the agent, is like he's on a motorcycle and is leaving the hospital, the other agent, I think her name's Danny, was running with the unloaded shotgun to try and like catch him, and like it swoops from there and like it does a circle and it goes in. That was cool. Another cool one was when they entered the hospital, but again I was like that wasn't necessary because it didn't justify. I don't know. I don't think it was too much. There was too many of them. I don't know.
Yeah, way too many.
There's too many. Dude, the plane. Remember the plane thing? That was ridiculous. That was another superhero movement. And the whole crash and like turn on him because Billy Bob Thornton, like they had his kid. Lloyd had his daughter.
What happened in the plane?
So basically,
they were in the plane.
They were in the plane. Well, this is when they were extracting good guy 6, and everyone was on his side the first time.
Wait, this was before the
beginning
flashback, right? With the daughter.
This should have been before the flashback, I think. And what happened was he's like, "I'm gonna need you to terminate that target." He was like, "Seriously?" He's like, "Just make it painless." And then like he gets ready to like, he does like the psh, he does like the little fire extinguisher 6. Yeah. And it goes off the rails. Something explodes, and like the side of the plane comes open, and like.
And then all of a sudden, he's like in the air, and he's attacking
the guy with the parachute because he took his parachute. I had to rewatch that scene. I was like, "What the fuck?" And he choked him out with a cord, and somehow still landed and didn't die. Yeah. And then he made the call. I was like, "What the fuck? What is going on here?" So this is if you couldn't tell, this is a very turn your brain off and enjoy the action kind of movie. That's exactly what this movie is. It's like don't think about it too much. Just shut up and enjoy it. Eat your popcorn. Yeah. There was a good line. Fucking dude, he had so many good lines. Chris Evans as Lloyd. He fucking like punches or kicks Bob Thornton in the face, and he was like, "Don't say preternatural to me. It's an asshole word." I was like, same. Like when he was getting real slick with him in the limo or whatever. Yeah. Threw his fucking phone out. You need a new phone. Like there's just so many great moments. I love it. Did you like the setup of the history between 6 and Fitz's daughter? Like the flashbacks, the whole thing, or the pacemaker. I don't know.
It felt kind of clunky, like the way that they introduced it.
It did seem out of nowhere. I'll give you that. Yeah. But I think it was important that they included it because before that point, we didn't have anything to really like ground us to 6 or like give us a reason to give a shit about him, in my opinion. Mm-hmm.
I think that's why it felt clunky.
Oh, you think they're like, "Oh, we need you to love this guy, so here's a little."
Yeah, like they just kind of throw it in.
Maybe
it's like a B plot for the rest of the movie.
I think it was just to give context to the relationship because the whole thing is like saving her towards the end. You know
Right.
what I mean? So
Or I guess that would be the main plot. I don't know.
oh wait, I mean it is by the end for sure.
Yeah.
There's so many plots going on here because they kept talking about the guy, the old man in the chair, whatever that Carmichael answers to,
Right. Right.
and like the whole thing that they're building to his guardian angel, as they talk about, like who's helping him, like just get his way up the ladder.
Uh huh.
So they're definitely teasing out like a second movie or something, or like a bigger universe. Which I was like,
Right.
all right, cool, I guess. Like we didn't have like an amazing sense of finality with this movie, but we'll get into that.
What was the ending?
Oh, he Six escapes from like a maximum security like
Oh, right. And
thing.
he
Yeah, and then he goes
saves the daughter.
and he saves Claire. How did he get out with enough lead time to set up all that shit, save Claire in another part of Virginia, and then like no one's on his ass? I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't think the full force of the CIA is coming after them? Maybe that's where they pick up the next movie. I don't know. I'm like, this is too many comedians.
You know, it's funny because one of the jokes was referring to the writing of like the scene that just happened, and jokes that they had, like Chris Evans referring to uh him being or him disregarding the rules.
Right, about how like all the rules you guys try to work your way around. I don't have to follow all that shit.
Right.
Got
Yeah.
it. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
That was just kind of like bad writing in my opinion. It doesn't. It's a lot of telling rather than showing.
You know what? On on that point, on that note, rather, it is a great point because there was a lot of that in the random exposition they would drop. The whole like, remember like the small talk and between Lloyd and Carmichael, and he was like, "Did you catch the game?" And he's like, "Oh, Harvard is not known for its football and they can't play for the shit." And he's like, you like Carmichael was like, "You played for them," just all these random nuggets. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, it's like, I don't know. It didn't seem natural. Like there was just a lot of random like dumping and dropping that would happen in the thing. Remember when like at the end, spoiler, when the Karen shoots Six or whatever, and she's like, "We went to Harvard together, and they didn't like me, and da 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 da. No one liked me, and blah 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 blah."
Yeah.
It was
That's
just
when
like
you find that out.
clunky shit, and I'm just like, all right, I get it. Like I get it, right? Like you got to have some sort of backstory to these people, but like I don't know. It's just randomly thrown in the middle of action isn't really the place. I feel like sometimes.
Same with Ryan Gosling and his whole backstory. He just like tells who was it? The daughter?
There's two times
Or
it
was
happens.
it,
There's two times it happens. Once was when he was getting his passport taken or whatever,
Okay.
and he looks down, he's getting changed, and he sees like his little cigarette burn scar, or like the car cigarette lighter
Yeah.
burn. That was nice because it was just kind of like showing rather than telling. That was nice. The second time, I think, I don't know if it was something with the daughter. I honestly don't remember.
I think because he was saying his dad had bad methods.
You're right. He wanted
regards to,
strong kids, but with bad
making him
methods and that. I think that was ambiguous enough where it didn't bother me, but I could see where you would take issue with it. I was like,
Yeah,
it was
it's just
borderline.
like-
It was
yeah,
I was like,
it was
I was
borderline. It's like,
it's like you
You're
guys
not really like writing actual.
What I think it was is that the Russos apparently gave and encouraged the leads to improvise, especially when they're with each other. So I wonder how much of that bled into random other scenes because there were some lines where I'm like, did someone really write that, or like were they just spitting shit? You know what I mean?
Right.
They had
yeah.
like a loose idea of what the backstory was, and they just kind of threw it in there. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah,
Right.
fuck it, it works. So I can see what you're saying, where some things were like clunkier and like get a little dicey at times. I genuinely believe, I'm not making excuses, but I genuinely believe that like this movie is just like, we're just gonna have a good time, and that's literally what the movie was. Like, cool shots, fuck it. Cool fight scenes, fuck it.
Yeah.
We need to have some sort of plot. All right, fuck it. We're gonna go to Harvard and Badman and Shadow Puppets and whatever. I'm just like, all right, cool. So again, if you want to turn your brain off and smash popcorn in your mouth, this is kind of that kind of movie. Or you want to be like fucked up, drunk, super high, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're coming into it expecting like a literary masterpiece or like, some sort of crazy revolution, nah, that's not it, man. That's not it. That's not what this thing does. But that fight at the end though, when it's Six and Lloyd.
Yeah, that was pretty. That was pretty. Neat.
I like do that knife training from Winter Soldier, paying dividends here, man.
Dude, that's what gave him the upper hand too.
It really was. He was fighting dirty.
Yeah, he knew how to use a knife.
He was swinging that thing around, but at the same time, dude's a tank. There's no way you have like 8 fucking shanks in you, some tendons gone.
Right.
I was like, dude, what? Dude, what is this guy's stamina? It was kind of cool at that other flashback where he was like drowning him, and he had been drowned before by his father,
yeah.
and then like the whole little like counter, if you would.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, that's tasteful. Like I like that. That was cool. Was it not? You could tell. I mean, yeah, you could tell like he's had to do that before.
His only thing to.
What else are you gonna do? Drown, Big A? Is it you gonna sit there and drown, Big A? Is that what you're gonna do? I thought it was a cute callback with Six on the stretcher showing a little rock star hand to Claire as she did to him when he was in the hospital. Mm-hmm. I liked the little friendship, even though like you don't think it was as well whatever as it could have been. It was one of the grounding, like the little lightning rods that went to Six. Otherwise, I would not have given a shit about this guy. I would have been like, he's soulless, he's got no fucking personality, and he's just a machine. That's the thing that grounded him the most and like made him more palatable, in my opinion.
Yeah,
if they didn't have Claire, bro, I would not give a shit about Six. So that was well done. I like the little bond that he had with Fitz too, like him calling him and like kind of him helping him out, and like there was a lot of weaving of relationships and like all this crazy backstabbing, if you would, no pun intended. So I those are some things I did like. Russo cameo at the end as a CIA rep.
Maybe he's gotta have his cameo.
Gotta have his director cameo. He's gotta have it. Any other observations you have? Because I have tons of dislikes that I'm about to drop.
Well, I feel like the line that he had said, it's just that Ryan Gosling's character said, it's just another Thursday, kind of sums up all the characters.
For real though, it felt episodic in that way. Just like a fucking episode of the A-Team from the 80s. It's gonna be resolved by the end. Because dude had no obstacles, like you were saying. Like he was going through every action set piece, like barely with a scratch. Mm-hmm. There was a couple things I did appreciate though when they took the time to. They would show damage, like whenever he took a bullet, he missed some, and he had to like put puppy Listerine on his fucking wounds and like wrap it up in the vet while he was giving his little backstory to Danny or whatever, getting him on his side. That worked. I do like at the end that final fight when his fingers are blown off and Lloyd would throw that punch and then he was like,
yeah, that was funny.
That was good. That played well and it made sense. And the same thing when he fell in the water and that burn on his back. And he's like, like it was that was fun. That worked to me. I was like, okay, cool, fun.
Yeah.
And I like how like their damage matters. Well, to an extent. Like when they want to play it for comedy, it matters. But like when they're just going at it and they're fucking shanking each other, nah, it don't matter. But I thought that was interesting. Dude, what annoyed me is how Danny had the shot and could have just ended Lloyd and it would have been done right there. But then like Six's pride and as well as Lloyd's pride, I was like, nah, we're gonna tango because they've been building for it the whole movie. The two leads have to fight. I get it. He should have died when she tranked his ass at the first time they met.
Right? Yeah, and then he
could have just put a bullet in his head if he's that dangerous. Let him, because plot, because plot, Big A. They didn't fuck with that. Like I was saying earlier, nothing was particularly outstanding or revolutionary except the well escape. I think that was cool. I thought that was really outside the box where he's at the bottom and he busts the pipe. He has like all the gunpowder from the bullets and he's going to use that to make some sort of bomb, right? With a string. I don't even know how he lit that. That was weird with the string and the I don't know how he did that.
Yeah.
But he floated all the way to the top and did that. And then right when the guards were about to open it up. I don't know. That was creative. I like that. I gave it a pass. I like that one. What else? Have we been over the drones already? Dude, when they were going into like the final big fight scene, like when they're storming the castle, if you would, when it's Danny and Six, she literally ran towards bullets, dodged, and then kept storming the gate. I was like, there's no way she just charges through the driveway to get up there with her little grenade launcher. I was like, there's no way. There's people like there was so many dudes, and where'd they all go? She was like blowing a few of them up. I was like, there's no way. Sexy Tamil agent, cool fight scene. But why did he wait till after fighting Danny to change his mind and hand over the encrypted drive?
It was such
stupid shit.
Like random turn.
They're just like, we want them to see them fight, but they can't kill each other. He changes his mind. They set it up, yes, with the whole like you're killing a girl, whatever, or like whatever, and like the whole them treating him like shit and how this is all futile. It seems. I get that, but that was a weird place to change your mind. Like, why go through the trouble of fighting? Yeah, he could have just been like, you know what, fuck this, I am out. And tossed it to her, saved the whole scene. But they wanted to see him fight. I was like,
yeah, it was interesting how they were choking each other out
with the little cables. Was it?
Yeah, whatever they were.
I don't know, some sort of data cables.
But yeah, like they were both having to choke each other or themselves to choke each other,
which was really weird. But it was kind of cool. But it was like, what's going on here? I don't know. That was interesting. The maze. Wow, that seemed a little forced. Him just like scuttling into a maze. I was like, what's going on here? I don't know about all that.
It reminded me of The Shining.
Reminded me of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. We went over the pride thing that was stupid, and we went over how it was stupid how Suzanne put a bullet in Lloyd before we could C6 end Lloyd with a little choke. I was like,
oh yeah, I thought that was a nice like detail where he was like fighting the arms, and on the pullback, he,
oh,
like
you like that?
switched his arms to get the choke.
You like that, didn't you?
Yeah,
I liked it too. I was like,
it was like that's well done. That's okay.
It gives you a pass. You get a pass. You get a pass. I get to pass in Big A's book. That's nice. But yeah, I was like, she shot 6'2". Rude. That was unnecessary. But I guess she sees him as a threat and whatever. Wants to like settle him down while she talks to him and tells him what's up.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much where it ends. They go over like how the CIA whatever pardons them because they pardons the bad people, right? The Karen, the Carmichael, and whoever else was involved. Because a bunch of shenanigans went down. I got some trivia for you, unless you have any more thoughts.
No, that was it.
Okay, one last thought. The ground war, ridiculous. The tram, where he's on like the little train, like the streetcar, if you would. And he's like on top of it. It's like going into a building on some Fast and Furious shit, and then he jumps off and then like lands on the car as if that's a cushion. I mean, I guess it's better than the road, but you get what I'm saying,
right?
Dude, this dude's a superhero. He's not an agent. Okay, I'm done. Trivia. I already told you about how Chris Evans declined the lead role to play the villain. Good choice. I told you about the improvising lines. So the whole like characters, the two characters meeting for the first time face to face, entirely improvised. Cool, I guess. Whatever. But who knows how much everything else was.
The one with the grenade?
Yes.
Okay.
The grenade thing was funny. They're 2 for 2 on that. When Billy Bob died with a grenade, he's like, "You douche!" Like this dude is like dodging grenades all day, every day.
Was improvised.
The lines were.
Oh, the lines.
The lines were specifically.
So the action wasn't.
I think the action had to happen because he had to jump out, and what's his face?
Were they trying to make that like symbolic or something?
The grenade.
Yeah, the fact that it was done twice.
I don't know if that was a coinky dink or it was supposed to be symbolic.
Something else.
How else are you supposed to get them like to scatter? Because what it was a device to separate them.
Yeah.
We met. Here's a couple quips. We have to separate. We can't fight right now.
Yeah.
That's what it was. A lot of the action and others and like the exposition dialogue, it's all setups just to get to the next action set piece. That's what it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's all setups. Setups the movie. Dude, the movie's budget. Do you know it? 200 million. It's like a fucking Marvel movie. 200 million, which as of 2022 is the most expensive Netflix original movie, and it's tied with Red Notice of all movies, which I guess tracks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That tracks. And The Irishman was rumored to have cost as much as 250 million, but most sources reported its budget as around 160. I was like, okay, interesting. It's a lot of money to drop on this movie, dude, and it didn't even go to theaters.
Yeah.
What is Netflix's model at this point?
Wait, did it? No, it was a limited release in the theater.
Oh, it was limited?
Yeah.
How limited? Like a week or two? A couple weeks? Okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing some screenings.
Oh, okay. I basically live on Netflix now. I mean, streaming services in general, not Netflix specifically. But anyway, I got some final thoughts for you, big man. I know we said a lot because there was a lot to unpack, more than we should have. Nah, it's fine. I think it's a fun action movie with an acceptable level of comedy, but the comedy at times feels a little too MCU-esque. It's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Why are we sacrificing
certain
things? It felt
almost satirical of the genre.
But then again, so did Bullet Train. But at least that was done better.
But it was. I don't think they meant to do it. I don't think they meant.
You think it's unironically ironic?
Yeah, I think they were going for like cool, like everybody like is likable and like they're all capable and
yeah, I know what you're saying. Everyone's equally qualified type beat. Like we're all good.
But,
we're all.
But it kind of like goes against what kind of story they're going for because it almost feels like ridiculous.
It does, yeah. It feels ridiculous in scale and scope, and then also like in comedy, right? Because like a Bourne film, there's not too much comedy, or like a 007. They even joke about that. 007 was taken, so I'm 6. That doesn't really have too much not comedy, not like MCU gag comedy, not like it's like one-liners and shit. Like not, you know what I'm trying to say. It's not weird like kind of quips and stuff. It's more like subtle, like maybe situational,
snarky. It's witty.
Yeah,
it's like
This is more like wet. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like it's more like it's more smarmy than it is like witty. You know, it's kind of like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like you're saying they're suave. They're trying to be cool. They're trying to be like we're all capable except Six. He's the most capable, but almost. I don't know. But like I said, it's not my favorite, but it makes an excellent popcorn flick, and you can tell the people had fun making it. And I guess that's the whole point.
True.
They just wanted to have fun with it. Whatever. I think it's a solid 7.5 out of 10, depending on like if that's what you want to get out of it. Yeah, you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna have a good time. If you want to have a good time, you're gonna have a good time. You know what I'm saying, Big Apple?
I think it drags to have a good time throughout the whole.
Well,
for me,
they have to slow down and build the world. Dude, I think if they had it their way, it'd just be fucking Bullet Train minus the exposition. Just be like action, 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 action. Couple lines.
Bullet Train kind of went off the rails too. But
you making puns over here, Big A? Making puns over here? Went off the rails, Big A? Literally. No, I know what you mean.
No, but yeah, like with the plot and everything. But I think in their regard, like because they were going ridiculous for ridiculous,
they were leaning into it.
Yeah, they were leaning into it.
Whereas so this one, they didn't intentionally, but they did. Yeah, there was like a.
They were trying to take themselves a little more serious, and it didn't quite pan out.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. What do you give a little rating for me, Big A?
I guess this is 6.
6. That's fair. Yeah, for what you thought, that's fair. Oh, Big A, we're at the end of the podcast. I want to keep going, man. Anyway, those are our thoughts on. Unless you have any more.
No, that's it.
On the Gray Man. I typed it in wrong. I've been spelling gray with an E. I'm
that's what I've been.
What am I British? Apparently, that's how they do it in England.
Yeah.
And here it's gray with an A.
With an A. Like gravy.
Gravy. Okay, that makes sense. Tomato. That's what I say. Anyway, for Media Munchers, I'm Adrian.
I'm Adrian.
And we're gonna catch you on the flip side. Stay gravy. No, never mind. Fuck it.
Does that make sense? No. Gravy.
Gravy.